What's going on, guys? It is your boy Junior from PMP Customs coming back at you with another video. First client of the day today, Saturday, 10 a.m. We have a Jeep Grand Cherokee 2017. Now this client came in for a radio upgrade, but no, not a Tesla style upgrade. Now we have three types of options in terms of radios for every type of car. Well, almost every type of car. But for this client, he doesn't like the idea of a giant screen, and he doesn't like the idea of losing his knobs and buttons. See this stuff? He really loves the volume knob and all that. And I'm not gonna lie, I love my volume knobs as well. I'd hate to lose that stuff. So every client has their own taste. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, bro, can you just give me something simple? I don't want a giant screen, so just give me something that matches the factory screen, so it looks OEM, and I don't want to lose the knobs and buttons. I said, I got you, bro. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be installing an 8-inch screen. Let me show that to you guys. Boom. So this is the 8-inch screen in question. Now this is the same exact size as the original one, believe it or not, after you take off the kit, right? 8 inches. Now the reason he's changing it to this is because, like I said, he doesn't want to lose anything, but he does want convenience. He wants more features, meaning he'll have wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. He'll be able to watch YouTube, Netflix, everything an Android radio Tesla style does. This little screen can do it, right? And obviously it's a lot cheaper because the screen is not as big. So I'm gonna be showing how to install the radio, but I'm not gonna show how to disassemble the factory radio. Why? Because I have like 4 videos displaying that on how to remove the Jeep Grand Cherokee 2014 to 2020 radio. Same process for all of them. And there's like 100 videos on YouTube. You can search it up yourself, but I've done it so many times. I just want to get to the installation of the radio. In terms of when you have everything out, I'm going to show you how to install the harnesses, the accessories, and the actual radio itself with the brackets. All right, so let's just skip into the future. All right, guys, so I'm not gonna be a complete scumbag and not tell you guys exactly how to take off the radio, or at least give you an idea on how to. I told you I'm not gonna display every single step on how to, just because there's so many videos on that. But just in case you guys do want to know, this whole kit is held in with clips, so all you have to do is just pull on it, give it the right amount of pressure in the right places, and it will pop off. No screws. And then it has 4 7mm surrounding the actual radio display itself. You can now pull that off, and then behind it there's going to be some plugs that you have to remove in order to fully take out this display. Each plug has a tab on the top. You see those tabs? You will push down on those and then pull on it outwards. If it's not coming out, then like wiggle it left and right, and it will help it coming out. All right, guys. And then unlike the Tesla style, you don't have to go through the struggle of removing this little like space you have back here, because you only need this kind of this space right here, because the only thing you're going to replace is the radio screen. So as soon as you remove all these plugs, which I'm going to do in a second, that is all you need to disassemble, and now we can get on the radio installation. Now when you order the 8-inch Jeep Grand Cherokee screen here at PMP Customs, this is what we supply you with: the main harness, the GPS, the 4G connector, the CAN bus box, USBs. This is the original USB adapter to recuperate, the one that's on the bottom, your antenna FM adapter, another USB, and your SIM card connector with your outputs. All right, and obviously the radio, the main unit itself. I'm only gonna have you do one thing here on the table, you know, where you have everything displayed. I'm only gonna have you guys connect this CAN bus box, and I want you guys to connect it to the main harness. See this right here? I'm not gonna be able to do it with one hand, but that plug goes into here, that male and female. Connect these two, and now we're gonna head into the car with all of this stuff. All right, believe it or not, I don't have a camera mount yet, so this is the best angle I'm gonna be able to give you guys. So let's start with the main harness. All right, we already plugged the CAN bus box, as I mentioned, and then your backup camera also comes out of here. So, oh damn, these are two. Okay, so this is actually supposed to go on the radio, but don't worry about this, we'll do that later. So plug in your main harness. We're gonna connect this. You see this? This is your original backup camera recuperator. So plug in the male and female like that, and then this goes behind the radio. Don't worry, we'll do that later. And then we have your original USB adapter. This recuperates the USB that's down here in this little space. You're gonna plug that into this gray connector like that. Very nice. That recuperates your original USB, so you can keep charging your phone on there. And then this is your GPS tracker. This is where you, when you go to Waze and stuff, Google Maps, that is where it tracks your car. That way it tells you when to turn left, when to turn right, and all that. So I'm gonna peel the paper lining off. There you go. And then stick it, you guys know the deal, stick it above the air vents. Make sure it's nice and tight, and you're all set. Do the same thing for the, where is the 4G? Here's the 4G. So we're gonna do the same thing, but on the other side. Make sure to pull a little bit out, just so you have a little bit to work with when you actually are installing the radio. Remove the paper lining. You don't have to heat it up, just because nothing really moves back there. You only heat it up when you want it to be like stick really hard, but you don't need it to stick really hard because it's not like, you know, things are shaking back there. Here everything is just stationary, everything is fixed. All right, so we're gonna, again, above the air vent, find a flat surface. 4G is nice and tight above the left air vent. Now all that we have left is the 2 USBs and the SIM card. Now you guys know that I love to run my SIM card and my, oh wait, silly me, we're missing the antenna FM adapter that connects to this yellow one. This is supposed to be white, but I guess over time it just turns yellow. So we're gonna connect that. Make sure it clicks. There you go. And then you recuperated your radio FM signal. All right, so as I was saying, we like to run here at PMP Customs the SIM card and the 2 USBs into the glove compartment because they're out of the way but still very accessible. All right, so let's just take this cable organizer off, have the SIM card loose, and then I'm going to open the glove compartment, and then I'm going to run it through to the back of the radio. There's a hole above the glove compartment where you can run it directly here. I'm gonna get it done, and then I'm gonna show you guys how it looks. That way you guys have an idea on how to do it yourself. All right, so this is the idea I can give you guys. The SIM card and the 2 USBs are ran from the glove compartment into the back of the radio. There's a hole back there. Yeah, I can show you guys. See that hole right there? So I pretty much run them here, and then they end up here. Now, you don't have to install this stuff. Why? You don't have to install these 2 USBs because if you installed it, the original USB adapter, then you recuperated the USB that you have down here. See that USB down there? You recuperated that. So really, these 2 USBs are extras. They're not really have like a specific use. So you can tell me, Junior, I don't give a damn. As long as I recuperate my original USB, you don't have to run these. And then with the SIM card, same idea. If you're not going to put a SIM card on the radio, then you don't have to run it to the glove compartment. You can just hide it back here. Although I do recommend running it because you might change your mind maybe like a year or so. You might be like, damn, I want to give this guy some internet. Let me give him some data. And then you're like, damn, now I got to take out the radio. You get me? But if you're not going to do that, you're not going to put a SIM card and you don't need the 2 USB adapters, then you don't got to go through the struggle of putting it into the glove compartment. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a little hard if it's your first time. You got to push these 2 clips in. And then there's a lock here that you have to pull out on the side of the glove compartment. And then I just have to click it back and then put the lock back. But if you, like I said, you don't have to do this if you're not going to use the 2 USBs or the SIM card. All right. So let me put this back and then we're going to continue. All right, so now that we got the accessories and the harness out of the way, we are almost ready to install the radio, but not yet. Let me tell you why. Now, this radio is considered to be universal. So it has its brackets and all that, as you can see. Now, when I say universal, is that it pretty much goes for every single Chrysler vehicle. This goes for Dodge Durangos. This goes for Jeep Grand Cherokees, Jeep Cherokees, Dodge Journeys. I think like the Chrysler 300. Now, they all might have a different dash, but they all use the exact same radio, believe it or not. They may have a different user interface, but the plugs behind and all that, the installation is pretty much exactly the same. So the brackets are universal. If we put it here, you do see that the top brackets do need to be either cut off or folded. Now you can do whatever you want. You can fold them, you can cut them. I think I am going to fold them, and if it still doesn't go in, then I'll cut them. But just make sure that it lines up with the screws that you do want to put in. So that would be the 7 millimeters on each corner, but these 2 brackets are for a different vehicle, maybe like a Chrysler or something. All right, so just remove the 2 brackets on the top, however you want to do it, and then we can get to installing the radio. And that's a little quick idea on how I cut it. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect down to the trim because it's not going to be seen. All right, so just make sure that it fits in nice and snug. Let me show you guys. Man, it's hard to record with one hand. Oh, so you see how that end is hitting? It's not really allowing the screw to go in. This side is perfect. So I do need to trim that off, and then like a little more, not too much, but a little more, and then it's gonna fit in nice and snug. Right, so I'm gonna get that done, and then we're gonna go ahead and showing you where every plug goes. That way we can install the radio and almost be done with it. Alright, so you guys know the deal. Now it's the part of the video where I show you guys exactly where every single plug goes. Alright, so we're going to start off with the antenna. Alright, this antenna is going to plug into here, this little green hole. Alright, your USB adapter. This is you got to count the pins. The pins are the holes inside of the plug. So that is a 4-pin. So you're going to look for all these females, you're going to look for a 4-pin. So you can see that it's going to be the third one. It's going to connect into the third one. Alright, so we got our antenna out of the way, we got a USB adapter out of the way. Your GPS and your 4G. Where is my 4G? Okay, so GPS and 4G, they both have like this little nut at the end of the connector where you're supposed to turn it or twist it. So what you're gonna do with that is you're gonna line it up with each one. They're already labeled, so you know which one 4G and an antenna is. So you're going to put it onto here and then scroll it. It has its the thread, so you just screw the nut in and then it's gonna be perfect connection. I'll also show you guys how that looks. The original backup camera adapter that you plugged into the main harness, that's going to plug into the first one. Matter of fact, let me start plugging this stuff in. That way you guys can also get an idea. Alright, so we stated that the left side is 4G, so I'm gonna read for which one says 4G, which would be this guy right here. And then I said screw it in, so there you go. Make sure it's nice and tight so it doesn't come off. There you go, screwed in. And then this is my GPS, which would be the last one left. Alright, make sure you guys can see it well. There you go. Very simple. We stated that the original USB adapter is the third one. Make sure it clicks in. Beautiful. And then we also have one of the USBs here. So the USBs that we ran to the glove compartment is a 6-pin. So I'm going to look for a 6-pin. There is my 6-pin. There you go. Clicks in nice and tight. Okay, so I did make a mistake. See how if you did run the 2 USBs, you do have to remove one, just because this 4-pin here is meant so if you don't want to recuperate the original USB with the adapter, you can have an extra USB here. Long story short, you don't need this if you connected this. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I can just pull it out. I gotta find out which one it is. It's not this one. It's not this one. It would be this one. See how I'm pulling it? There you go. So we can throw this aside because we don't need that. So we only have one USB and one SIM card in the glove compartment. Let's get back to the radio. And so we have the main plug. This is where the power, the speakers, the ground, the ignition comes out of the main harness. You're gonna plug that into this black connector here. All right. So we're gonna make sure to push it left and right until you hear the click. Beautiful. You gotta love that clicking noise. As an installer, I love hearing that. And then obviously, this is the SIM card connector, that long one. Let me see how much I can pull so it can give me a lot more leeway. There you go. That's perfect. So this long SIM card connector, it's getting a little messy now. You're gonna plug that into here, the biggest female. All right, so let's plug that in. You're gonna hear a nice click. Beautiful. It is getting a little messy here, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I did a mistake. I did forget something in the box. Usually we don't have you guys install the microphones that we give you because they're just extras. That just comes with the radio, but usually the radios already come with a mic or recuperate the original microphone. So since this radio doesn't, as you can see, it doesn't have a mic hole in either side, I don't believe that it recuperates the original microphone. Alright, just because this is one of our cheapest radios, so you do have to run a microphone. I'll show you guys how that looks when it's done. But the final plug that you're supposed to plug in is another one that comes out of the main harness. Let me show you guys. Blue and green comes out of the main harness. It's a 4-pin, so you're gonna connect that to this one right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. All right, so I'm gonna plug that in, and now the radio is functional. You can try out your functions like AC controls. Although your AC controls stay down here, you are also able to control them on the actual screen itself. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me. Sorry, somebody called me. Okay. So yeah, don't quote me. I do believe you can control it on the actual display. If you can't, then that's just me lying to you. Don't worry. So I'm gonna run the microphone, and then I'm gonna put everything back together, and I'm gonna show you guys how it looks. All right. All right. So that is my microphone, the one that we supply you with the radio. I'm gonna run it through the sidewall here, and then I'm gonna run the wire in between here, the seam. All right. And then all you have to do is just push this back. Now, talking about the SIM card, I do recommend that you guys heat this up with a heat gun. That way it sticks almost permanently. All right, that's what I'm going to do because the card's gonna be shaking and stuff. And unlike the 4G and the GPS, they're safe back there, but this, it might fall off like in a couple months. So if you want to avoid that, heat it up, make sure it's nice and hot, and then stick it on there nice and tightly. Hold it down for like 30 seconds, and it's pretty much on there for good. All right, so I ran it through here. I'm closing it off, and then I took this side panel off. It's just clips. Run it through here, remove this little cover off. It's held in with 2 clips, as you can see. And then now I have the end here. So now I got my zip ties with me. I'm gonna zip tie it to a couple harnesses nice and tight because you don't want it dangling on the client's feet. That looks horrible. Now realistically, you can, if it's your radio, you can mount it however you want. You can mount it on top of there if you don't want to do all this extra stuff on top of the radio. But professionally, and if you want it to look good, you have to do it this way. So yeah, I'm gonna zip tie it to some harnesses right there, nice and tight, and then I'm gonna run all the excess wire to there's like a hole here where you can run that wire up to the radio area, and then I'm gonna connect that to the female where it says mic. All right, we're almost done installing the microphone. So you can see that I ran it up to the back of the radio. Everything is put back together. Now all that's left is to connect it. Very simple. You have a male microphone that you ran, and then there is a female mic input that comes out of the radio. Obviously you connect these two. If I can in one, I'm not gonna try, but you do connect those. And then I had a lot of excess wire. So what I did is I just used electrical tape to make it nice and tight. That way you don't have like a lot of like a spider web full of cables, you know, behind the radio. You want to make it, you know, a little organized. So that way I don't have a lot of it just loose. I put all of it, the extra that remained, I wrapped it with electrical tape, and then now I'm going to connect this to that, and now we can start installing the radio. So after you put the microphone, what you're going to do is you're going to push all of the harnesses and accessories into the back of the space here. As you're doing that, you're going to push the radio until it clips, or not clips, but it like pretty much fits in nice and snug, and then you see all the 4 holes. All right, I'm going to show you guys how that looks. And there you go. So you can see that it fits as if it was the OEM one. So what you can do with one hand, why am I studying so much? With one hand, you're going to hold the radio nice and steady, and then with the other, you're going to screw in the exact 4.7 millimeters that you removed on the original one. You're going to put them back on the aftermarket one. All right, so I'm going to get that done, get those 4.7 millimeters on there. All right, so I do recommend that before you guys clip everything in, you do try it out, make sure everything works. So you have your original AC plug here. That's the only thing that's left to connect. So obviously that goes here. Now what I'm gonna have you guys do is just connect it. Do not put clip it in, because we're gonna try it out, make sure everything works. So I'm gonna skip into the future and make sure everything works, because I want to show you guys everything in the showcase. I don't want to show you guys everything now. It'll be like a sneak peek. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and try everything out, make sure the backup camera works, the FM works, the video works, steering wheel controls work, all that good stuff. The important stuff, make sure it works. All right, that way you don't have to take everything out again. So skipping into the future now. One quick thing that I want to talk about, like a little troubleshoot issue that I have. If I go into the backup camera, you can see that it recuperated the backup camera, but it looks absolutely horrible. Now that does not mean that the video is bad. That just means that the camera signal is incorrect. All right, so let's say you have this issue. I'm going to show you guys how to fix it. Tap while in reverse. Keep it in reverse. Obviously, keep your foot in the brake. Go to camera, and then go onto here, and I believe it's NTCSE, and there you go. Your backup camera is now looking amazing. All right, so good news on my part. Everything is working amazing. Now, if you seem to be having issues, which you shouldn't, if you follow every step that I did, then everything should work as it should. But let's say you're having an issue with the radio signal. All right, so you can go back into the video and see where I talk about the antenna FM adapter, how it looks and where it goes. If you're having a problem with Wi-Fi, then go back to the video and talk about where I talk about the 4G connector, that the nut that screws in. So that's how you troubleshoot the stuff. Whatever is not working, you go back into the video where I talk about it, tell you where it goes, how it looks, and that way you can see what the problem is, right? But everything works on my end, so make sure it's plugged in. And now I can simply just click it in as it was factory. It's gonna look like as if nothing has ever happened, as if he didn't even change the radio. So just click it in. Ah, amazing. You gotta love those clicking sounds. There you go. There you go. Amazing. Look at that. It looks as if nothing was done. Isn't that cool? So I'm gonna go ahead into the showcase, clean the little screen up with a microfiber cloth, and then show you guys the showcase and what this radio can do. Check out that radio, guys. So you can see that you get a brand new user interface. Camera is now looking amazing. So go back into Spark, and now let's get into the display. You guys see that the backup camera is recuperated. Steering wheel controls, you don't lose that. The volume knob, the most important thing about this whole kit is the volume knob. Nobody wants to lose that. You can see that that works perfectly fine. All right, your antenna, radio FM. See, this is your new radio here. You can save your channels by holding on. There you go, Hot 97. That's been saved. The climate control, I said that you guys are able to control it on the screen, and I was correct. So you can also like access it through here, and it gives you like a nice user interface. You tap on here, see how that works. Temperature, everything corresponds with each other. You can see how it goes up. So you didn't lose anything. It just has like a brand new look to it. You get me? Obviously this works. We didn't really touch that, so. But yeah, it recuperates the digital climate control, and obviously we didn't do anything to the manual climate control, so that's still there, of course. But yeah, once you guys, let's give this guy some internet, and let's go on YouTube to show you guys how that stuff looks and sounds. Now, obviously, you don't have to give it Wi-Fi. I gave it the business Wi-Fi, but you can either give it hotspot or SIM card, the one that we ran to the glove compartment. But yeah, you can see that it looks absolutely amazing. This is the YouTube being displayed. I love KSI, man. This is a jam right here. But yeah, it sounds amazing. When a night falls, make the right call, or she'll be gone forever. And of course, you also have your wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I have a Samsung, so I'm going to connect my phone through Bluetooth. No more ugly USB connection. It's all convenient and wireless, so I'm going to connect my phone. Since I have a Samsung, it's going to be wireless Android Auto that I'm going to be displaying. And there is your wireless Android Auto in display. So you guys know that this comes with your maps, your addresses, messaging, music. Same thing for wireless Apple CarPlay. It just looks a little different. But yeah, you can play your music on here. You have your, you guys know what this is. Check that out. Ooh, they got the TL in the background. I didn't know they did that. That's my car, by the way. Sexiest TL in New Jersey. But yeah, guys, this is the best we can offer you guys. Yeah, so much to offer. This is just like a quick showcase that I can show you guys, because the client's gonna come pick it up now that the job is done. So yeah, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Waze, Google Maps. If you have an iPhone, then it'll be Apple Maps. And then of course you can give it Wi-Fi to watch YouTube, Netflix. We were showing YouTube on Chrome because the client himself has to download YouTube, and he has to download Netflix. It's pretty much a brand new phone that he bought for the vehicle. So when he has to give the Android Radio a Google account, go onto the Play Store, and then that's when he starts downloading apps. You get me? So yeah, that's what we have to offer you guys in the Jeep Grand Cherokees. If you don't want to spend a lot of money on a Tesla style radio, or let's say that there's like a lot of applications that this radio comes into play. I had like a Dodge Journey come up to me. His radio was like, it has like this famous problem where it has like the screen itself starts unpeeling from the display, and then it starts tapping on the screen. He's like, listen, man, I don't want a Tesla style radio. I just want to replace this screen because it's going bad. What do you have for me? And I gave him this radio, cheaper than the Tesla style, because it doesn't, offer like a giant screen with 2 USBs at the bottom. No, it's just a simple OEM factory replacement, and it does everything that a Tesla style can. It's just a lot less expensive. You get me? So yeah, that is what we have to offer you guys. If you guys have any questions about this radio, definitely give us a call. Or if you want to book an appointment to get this installed, you can also call us for that.